In this regard, national and international organizations and movements have also denounced an electoral fraud in the Ecuadorian elections, demanding a recount of votes by the National Electoral Council. Gabriela Mena brings us more details.
En Ecuador, el fraude electoral es denunciado.
In Ecuador, political organizations, social movements, and legal groups have denounced electoral fraud, warning about irregularities in the process that gave Noboa the victory. They emphasize that there was a manipulation of minutes and irregular prohibitions to disrespect the will of the Ecuadorian people.
In addition, on this occasion, there was no opportunity for the citizens to photograph the votes, and this, of course, is the result of the distrust that the Ecuadorian people have in their president of the republic. We are living before the state of caprice, and this cannot be given in the legal system.
Punto en que coinciden varios analistas y organizaciones políticas.
Point on which several analysts and political organizations agree. From the beginning and after the conclusion of the elections in Ecuador, the citizen revolution rejected the electoral results and denounced fraud, affirming that they did not remain with their arms crossed. But what are the ways that must be complied with to denounce electoral fraud? First, a political actor must present a denunciation before the National Electoral Council. This document must be supported by arguments, photographs, testimonies, and reports that validate the irregularities, and in a period of up to 1 year the ruling can be announced. For the analyst Ramiro Rivadeneira, this would not allow Noboa to be sworn in this May 24th.
Sea posesionado este 24 de mayo.
Me queda claro que se trata de un fraude.
It is clear to me that we are dealing with a much more complex fraud than what could exist with respect to the accounting of certain votes. It is not only a question of numbers, it is not only a question of accounts. Behind this there is an accumulation, a lot of edges that have to be analyzed, and from there it is important to open the minutes.
Tienen que analizar y desde ahí es importante abrir las actas.
El Tribunal Contencioso Electoral, previo a hacer la proclamación.
The contentious electoral tribunal, prior to making the proclamation of the official results, must resolve the illegalities committed by Noboa, starting with the lack of request for a license to the National Assembly to initiate the campaign period. He did not entrust the presidency to Veronica Abad, the use of state funds for campaigning, and the declaration of a state of exception just hours before the beginning of the election day.
However, what the court has done to somehow say that it is doing its job is to channel several of these complaints into one. Of these 5, there is still no definitive resolution to tell us what has happened.
Es necesario mencionar que a este cúmulo de ilegalidades.
It is necessary to mention that, to this accumulation of illegalities, it has added the implementation of a law by the National Electoral Council and at the same time denied the possibility to Ecuadorians to exercise their right to vote from abroad, in countries such as Venezuela, where Luisa Gonzalez had a high number of supporters.
Todas estas cosas hacen un contexto de que los resultados.
All these things make a context in which the final results are bulky. They do not make any statistical sense. In all this context, it seems to me that what is really responsible is that people do question how this type of issues could have occurred.
Expertos cuestionan si las autoridades.
Experts question whether the authorities will act legitimately without tipping the balance in favor of Noboa and not declaring fraud. And the fact is that unions denounce that Noboa has the powers of the state monopolized.
Gabriela Mena, TeleSUR Ecuador.